So it's a big deal. And the cool thing is it's all volunteer based, and they raise all this money for local students. And I mean, they do art competitions, wine competition. I mean, it's a full meal deal. It's pretty cool.
Very cool. Very
Yep.
cool.
Quick question, Marty, on there's a Wednesday deal y'all had, for going over a certain topic. I think it was led by Johnny maybe or somebody.
Oh yeah. So just if you go into the community, Kevin, everybody go into the ProEdge community, like the social media part of the community, not where the courses are. At the very top, you'll see events, and all the week events are laid out for everybody. And the new features in Go High Level now, if you click on the event, a window pops up. You can say add it to your calendar, and then it'll make a recurring meeting on your calendar for all the events. So you don't have to miss them.
So these
But Kevin, what we're doing and everybody is about early in January, a lot of us are using Listening to Leads. So Bob started doing a Listening to Leads coaching call at 4 o'clock on Wednesdays. So every week we learn another feature of Listening to Leads and how to leverage it.
And these are archived.
And they're archived, yeah.
Yeah. So Wednesday might turn into that third-party app like Dub, Listening to Leads, might use it for multiple.
Yeah. And we run out of topics on Listening to Leads. Like this week, we ran out of topics on Listening to Leads, so we jumped over to Mailbox Power and talked about that for a while. But Dub and some of the other tools, that could be like our Wednesday third-party tool stuff. Well, speaking of third-party tools, I'm excited to bring them back for another round. I see Paul's down in the bottom corner there. So Paul and I have been working closely, and I've been giving him all the IDX broker things that we loved. And one of the things that he shared with me that I was excited to get him back on is market reports, like market details about a neighborhood or whatever. So I asked Paul to join us today to show us all how it works, and then any other goodies he has. And then our next frontier, Paul, will be the integration of data between our two systems, so we can get all the buyers that are up on your site back to Go High Level for nurturing and stuff. So we'll do some integration work as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So let me share my screen and show you what we got, because I want to let you guys play around with this. Here we go. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. So this is Smarty's webpage. Okay, so you can check this out, smartytherealtor.com, Fitler Square market report. Although market report's a bit of a misnomer, it's really about market statistics, okay, market stats. Market reports coming soon. So this is now a widget, okay? These are widgets that you can just add to your website. Today, you can do this today. You're going to need to know how to add the widget. After the weekend, this will be in our wizard. Okay, so anyone can just come along and just go, click, click, click. That's what I want. It'll spit out the code, copy and paste, off you go. But you can manually add these, and I'm going to show you how to do this because I know you guys are all super advanced and capable, and it gives you the opportunity to try it out and give me feedback as well. So what we have is a new widget called the Market Stats widget, and what this does is it does three different things. It will show this summary report at the top here. So this is one function of the market stats report, is to say, okay, here's a market, output some stats on this market. Okay, so you just put in the widget, put in the filters, and it'll just spit this stuff out. Okay, so obviously you can put your own heading on it and decide what you want to do. It's responsive. So oops, where are we going? It's responsive, so it'll stretch in and out. It takes colors from your widget theme, okay? And if you want to do CSS, you can, because it's all available as custom CSS. So that's the first thing, okay? And I'll show you how to do these in a second. So I'm just going to introduce you. The second one is this, okay? It's a comparison table. Okay, so the comparison table basically lets you say, okay, I want to show people a comparison of subdivisions or property types or cities, where in a zip code, in a county, however you want to do it. You could say, well, I want to do a comparison of of these neighborhoods, and but just for homes over $1 million with on lakefronts, on waterfronts, and that could be part of the filter. So you can really add filters to these things to make the comparisons very specific. They're very easy to set up again. So this is another nice little tool that you've got, okay, at the moment. And then the last one is this links list. So ignore this bit. This is not part of it. This stuff, okay? It outputs a list of links that you can just embed anywhere on a page, okay? So you can have, it looks actually like my guys have got the links list to work with sub areas now. So we had just cities. So you create a list of cities, and you can then basically say, okay, give me a list of cities, give me a count of the properties in those cities, and create links. So I'm going to show you this as well, because this is another. Okay, what's going on? This is on our demo site, charliesmithrealty.net/market stats. Okay, so you can have a look at this. So here's another example of this. It outputs in columns, and it'll try to build five columns depending on how big the page is. Okay, and it stretches around and fills up the space. So in this example, this is our demonstration data. So we've got a very small data set here, but you can see what it's doing is I said, hey, give me a links list of cities, based on cities. That was it, nothing else, just cities. And you can see it's given me this row here. And in the next one down, I said, okay, well, just give me a links list with where, and I added more.
So here with Lifetime Realty, just catching up with what's going on. I wanted to get that contract signed.
I got it.
It's going okay. So this second one, I said, okay, do the same thing again, but this time I just want an additional filter in here. I only want to show residential. And then the last one down here, I put another links list together. I said, okay, that's fine. But now I just want to add residential and mountain views. So I put this one together, just show people how much you can tailor this with, the filters and things that can be added in. All right. So how do you do this? So we got an article that we put together in the knowledge base. Okay, so it's in our support site, support.buyandbuddy.com, knowledge base market stats. Just go to the knowledge base and search for market stats.
Paul, drop that link if you would in the chat for us.
Sure. Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Let's just do that. I'll do that in a sec. But you can go here, and this is just basically technically explaining what it is. So here's a bunch of stuff up front. But if you scroll down, you'll actually see here, okay, summary totals, and it'll tell you a little bit about what it is, how you create it. And here's the sample that you can just copy. Okay, so if you just copy that and then just change out the bits, obviously let's make that a bit bigger. There we go. Okay, so here's the filters. If you've got a WordPress website, here's the WordPress shortcode. If you've got a high level site, then this is what you would use. Obviously, this bit here, the filter equals report type totals. That's because we're going to show a totals report. And then this stuff afterwards is obviously going to be unique to you. So for example, if you're in Bright MLS, then the MLS ID is MD257. And then you can put some additional stuff on the end of it. So that's how you would create a totals report for the city of Littleton in using the MLS of Denver or RE Colorado. Okay, so that's that one. And then if you want to create a comparison table, the instructions are down here as well. Again, dead easy to do. It's basically the report type. It's the same widget, market stats. The report type is comparison. And then you put in this compare. What do you want to compare? Cities, sub area, whatever is available. And at the top, if I go back up to the top, these are the things you can compare, okay? So we got these things that you can compare. So if I go back down again to the widget, we're just manually creating this for now. You're going to say report types comparison. For comparison table, compare what, city, and then you just put in the filter, okay? So the filter, you can use the wizard to create a filter, as you probably know. You can go into the wizard in your Buying Buddy account and just say, hey, I want to display listings. So just go through the wizard, and at the end of it, it's going to spit out the filter based on whatever you want. Just copy the bits out of that and put them in here, and it'll be fine. But like I said, after the weekend, we'll have this in the wizard. And then the links
For
list.
those that don't know, once we kick out the wizard results that Paul's showing, inside of Go High Level, it's easy. I showed you in my training when I did the price-based shopping, is I just copy the code and then I edit the wizard code right inside of Go High Level. So if you wanted to add another zip code you forgot, you don't have to go to Buying Buddy and generate a new code set for a zip code you forgot. You just string out all the zip codes you want or all the cities you want.
Yeah, that is correct. I mean, that's one of the advantages we have.
Yeah.
It's
And then another one of the questions, Paul, Harry was asking is for all these, like especially the summary ones, the market data stats up top. What are the time periods of those stats? You know, is this a monthly view, a 90-day view?
So if you yes, good question. So if you hover it, it will say, I think it says this one, the old about 60 days. We do 60 days. So these are 60 days. And of course, this is demo data, so just ignore this stuff. But yeah, sold in the last 60 days, and that'll apply to this. And look, the thing about the market stats report is it's looking at current data. So we're not doing trends or anything on it. That will come with the market report widget. Okay, the market report widget will have history, and we'll actually be able to say, hey, you know, month on month comparisons. That will be more trending, but this is about current market stats, is about current data. Okay.
To me, guys, this is going to be perfect for all of our community pages. So as we community pages, we'll have the market stats for the community.
Right.
I will put on these pages, and I'll give you links in a minute, but I'll put on these pages examples so that you can see how they work and everything. What I'm interested in at the moment is, you know, given what I've throwing out here, you know, what are your questions? What are the things do you need in terms of the comparison or the lists or whatever? I just want to make sure I've covered everything. All right.
Well,
so interested in your feedback.
Did I miss it? Can you actually put, like, let's say the last 20 homes sold, the sold data?
Actually show the listings?
Yeah, whatever has sold.
That's what I call the market activity. That's different than trends and stats.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point. So what
Rob, this is what it's showing. This is what it's showing, Rob. Rob, look there. How many holds in the last 60 days? How many homes sold, Rob, and what was the average price?
Yeah. So can we get a list of homes? Let's say, you know, list of 25 homes or whatever sold in the last 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, you do that the same way you make any other
widget
list of properties.
Any other? Yeah, it's a home search.
Yeah, it's the same way.
Rob, and Buying Buddy, you just go into the wizard, you create a filter to say last 6 months, and status has to be sold in this area, this price point, and then it generates a wizard to display those homes.
That's really valuable data because, you know, we have a monthly magazine that comes out, and the guy that owns that page, he's always got sold data, and that's what everybody goes to. You know what they want to see sold, you know, actual solds.
So with that kind of data, right, some MLSs don't allow you to post actual prices, so you gotta be careful. And then when you could create a hidden page on your site, don't add it to your sitemap, but your magazine could QR code or link back to that hidden page is a one way to do it. That way you don't have to update your magazine every month.
Let me show you how you do that, just because this will help you guys, and I've got time if that's okay. John, can I just run quickly through how to do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so look, I'm just logged into John's account. So how on earth do we show a display? For example, on this demo website, you know, we got a display here of, okay, here's a gallery display or a grid display. This is showing, you know, just properties. What is it showing? Whatever you want it to show. And here's another one, which is showing my showcase of sold properties. These are my sold properties. So this basically says, okay, show a grid, show a gallery or a grid layout, and, you know, filter by sold, where the MLS agent ID is me. You know, and it's going to output this nice little, and you can use this alternative layout if it's your own listings, okay? But you can slice and dice data any way you like. How on earth do you do that? Go into your dashboard here, and then go up to widgets, and then go to the wizard. Okay, this is where you want to go, the wizard. Choose your website, and then what do you want to display? So let's say we want to display properties from the MLS. And we've got choices here: grid, carousel, list, map. So let's just stick with the grid. Now we get the MLS search criteria to choose from. Okay, so if you want to choose solds, go in here, choose solds. Okay, and we can do some funky things in here. There's some fields that are just thinking this. There are some fields that are not shown here, but you can do things like, I want to show sold properties that have sold in the last 180 days or in the last, or things like that. So, but essentially sold, and then we'll go to next. And now you can match it to your agent ID, office IDs, things like that. So here it is. So here you can choose, when do you want solds from? Well, I want it in the last 30 days, 3 months, 6 months. So you can put in a period here. Or you can even put a range in. I just want it from a specific, a month or whatever. So you choose let's choose the last 30 days, sold in the last 30 days. Next. And you've got layout options you can put on the widget as well. Do you want to show the header bars? Do you want to sort and do all sorts of things? And then there's the code. Okay, so there it is. So you just copy that to your clipboard and then go into your high-level website and add an HTML block and then paste it in, save it, and publish it, and that's what it's going to show. It's going to show this or something like this, okay? Does that help?
That makes sense, Rob? Rob, you're on mute. Maybe we lost Rob. So,
Well,
anybody else have questions? But we do have some questions with Noel and Jonathan. Are they related to this, guys, or off topic?
I was gonna suggest that we add, or if you could add the functionality where you could adjust the time frame on the widgets that you're creating.
Well, this is just the current snapshot. Okay, so we're just going to do the last 60 days. So because the problem is a lot of people don't have. There's a lot of sold. There's not very many solds for some areas, so it's just going to come back with zeros. So what we've done is we've chosen 60 days, just so that we can have an average sold price, and we can say that.
Jonathan, are you talking about the market stats?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, if it
that's what I was thinking, Paul, is the market stats widget. If you could have that same drop down where you pick the period when you're in your wizard to say, all right, my market stats on this page, I want it to be a 30-day stat versus a 60 or maybe a 90-day stat because of maybe the neighborhood doesn't move that often.
I mean, it's also, our different markets, different MLSs have different markets, and different markets have better trends than others, so it might be beneficial.
Yeah. I'll see what we can do. Yep.
And this might be more of a
just like you
sidebar.
showed on the filter where you had that next step after the MLS filter, it had a little drop down and said, what period would you like?
And this might be a sidebar for you and I, but is there a way that I can capture the elements and the data and build out my own widgets on the front end, or is that something that you have the capability of doing?
Well, Jonathan, this is actually an evolution of a JavaScript capability that we've had all the time. All right, so you can actually use our JavaScript API to get all this data. So again, go into where the heck did I do this? I think it's if you go to our support website and you go to widget reference, pretty certain down the bottom here, it's all this stuff. So it's
there's a JavaScript helper, third one down.
I think it was I can't remember which one of these it is. I think, you know what, special function. I put it somewhere recently. Where the heck did I put it? Anyway, I'll send you a link on that, okay? But it's all in there's JavaScript in there, and it's all available to
get access to it.
Yeah. So you can do absolutely. You can do that yourself if you want. Yeah. And in fact, what I had on Smarty's site up until this morning was all JavaScript. That was using our JavaScript API.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Noel?
Yes, I guess I'm off topic. I'm wondering if there is a link to homes that people have recently looked at that I can turn around and put onto our dashboard.
So what Noel's talking about, Paul, is this what I showed you with IDX Broker? They did a really tight integration to Go High Level. So in Go High Level, they had a menu option,
Right.
and IDX Broker showed me all the homes that were being looked at, and then I could click and see the buyer that's behind that.
Yeah.
And then they also, on the contact record, on the notes of the contact record, I had a stream of all the houses they saw, so I could open up my buyer and see all those houses.
Absolutely. So that's dashboard stuff. So yeah, we've got that in plan. Yep.
Yeah.
So no, just be patient on that. It's all coming.
Well, I hooked them up with the Go High Level development team to build a marketplace app that we could, just like IDX Broker, we could have it all embedded inside the CRM now.
I've had no connection with those guys at all.
Is there, before that all gets finished and packaged, is there just like a link for what people are looking at that I can put on the dashboard? So that I've got my husband trained, and we're switching from IDX Broker, and I don't want to change. I want to at least keep as much as I can until things are fully done.
No, so tell me what you're trying to actually see. I'm not quite sure what you actually want to see. So just
is there a page that just has what everyone is currently looking at?
So in other words, people have come to the website and there's a whole bunch of activity. People have been looking at properties. You want to see the leads that have been looking at properties, or you want to see properties that leads have been looking at?
I want to see leads and the properties they're looking at.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul, like the way
I can jump in.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
I can jump in a second. So the functionality that Noelle, I think she's looking for, is actually, I've got a couple thousand leads moved to Buying Buddy right now. So on the Buying Buddy dashboard, you can click and see the listings viewed today, the leads that returned today, the listings saved today, the listings saved in the last 7. So the information that was in the IDX Broker that popped up inside, while Paul is building it out, you're going to have to open up Buying Buddy.
Yeah, you're going to get your husband in there for the time being.
Okay, so where is this page found? Because I can turn
that's
around
the
and
home
take
page.
this.
Yeah, that's the home page.
That's the dashboard.
The dashboard.
Okay, because I can take this URL and make it so that it shows up on my dashboard.
I mean, we have all that information, Noel, and what I can do is I can send you some links afterwards. I'll send them to you, John, and maybe you can pass them on. I'll send you some links that basically answer questions like this, so you can see it, and there's some little tutorials and things like that, and you'll see all that information, and you can get the links however you want. Yeah, you'll be able to get links and put them in various places. Okay,
just as a band-aid until it's all built out. Something that's just quick and easy. Okay, this is who we've got looking at things today. So, let's twist their arm and get them drunk to sign papers.
Just to clarify one thing here, I think what she's trying to do is Go High Level has the ability to essentially embed a web page inside of the dashboard. And I don't know that that's going to work for you because you have to be logged in to Buying Buddy in order to have access to the information.
You do indeed, absolutely. And what we've got to do is we've got to build a connection so that we can just iframe in some stuff and show that on the high level dashboard, which is going to be something we will do. It's not available today. So today you have to be logged into your Buying Buddy account to see that information. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, question, Paul.
Yeah,
Guys, I'll put
it
the
doesn't
buying buddy. I'll put the
necessarily.
buying buddy in the menu. Now, Noel, you'll have to put it on your menu. But buying buddy will
Yeah,
be a menu option on your menu, so you can open it up. And I haven't tried it yet, but Jonathan, have you put it inside, or you opened up buying buddy inside of Go High Level?
No, I haven't.
It's an iFrame.
But
I'll do a
Paul,
test by Paul's doing it. I'll just see if it works.
So I
One
don't
question.
think that's going to be that helpful, Smarty, because yeah, IDX, you could go back and forth once you had it in there and you opened up the IDX button and went and saw them, it took you right back to the person.
Yeah.
I think while we're waiting, this is how I've been doing it anyway, is I use the Duelist Chrome extension and I have Buying Buddy's dashboard opened and I have my GHL open. So I click on, like today, I have 18 listings viewed. I've opened that up and I can see who viewed them. So all I've got to do is, Chris Wadja viewed 3 items and saved one. So I just have to put in Chris Wadja and find them on, having a dual screen, and I can make my phone call.
Yeah.
Right from in there. I mean, I think we just got to be patient and let Paul do his thing and do this little extra step in the meantime. It's the same data, but if you put it inside of Go High Level, you're going to open it up and look at it. Then you're going to actually have to close it to go back.
Yeah, actually, no, Bob, you're absolutely right. So I'm thinking through that logic for now. The Duelist is the better option than launching it from the menu, because in the menus it's convenient to get the Buying Buddy. But if you're going to be like Bob's doing in the morning, you see that Mary looked at 3 houses, you want to jump over to Mary's record and send her a quick text message. You're going to want the Duelist interface so that you have the 2 screens open at the same time. So on the one side, you see Buying Buddy's chart, and you can drill in and see all the buyers that were looking at properties today. And on the other side of the fence, you're in the contact database, and you just search your contact and shoot them a quick text or a dub video or whatever you're going to send them. That'll work.
So,
look, guys, I will say to you that you have a great opportunity here to steer these types of dashboard, these pieces of information that get shown on a dashboard. I would say that from my point of view, it's one of the hardest things we have to do, which is to try and understand how we can present data so that we're giving you the right information at the right level about the right thing. So, Noel, if you take a step back and you think about what it is you're trying to see, your demand for a dashboard information is if you can succinctly explain that or tell me what you want, that's fabulous. We can really tailor it. And I would say the same to all of you. If you've got specific ideas for how you want to see information, let me know, because now is a great opportunity to influence that.
So Paul, one question. Have you looked at Ylopo and their system?
No, I haven't. No,
Okay.
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Ylopo is a IDX provider / website. Bottom line, they have the functionality to select like a set of listings and send a link with basically it has a secret key attached to it, more or less. That when you send the link, to the end user, it automatically logs them in so they can view the properties and it's associated with their. So that functionality would be nice to have. Also, saved searches when we do it on Ylopo, it has that same functionality.
So we do all of those. All of those things are built into our system already. Okay.
Yeah, do you want to show everybody? You want to show everybody, Paul, how to do that on Buying Buddy?
Marty, can I ask him something while he's doing this?
Yeah.
Because it's going to tailor directly to this. Paul, a lot of us do lead generation through listing to leads. And those leads come in from Facebook ads that we're running on our listing or borrowed listings. When those come in, I think most of us would like to be able to have a workflow that we can kick off in Buying Buddy with a preset search that will go with a specific address that we are advertising. So in your system, someone has to have clicked on a house already, and they have. They did it on Facebook. And what we would like to be able to do, at least me, is to auto apply a search to them that's going to be bigger than what they're looking for, but will force them to raise their hand and say, Campbell, don't send me ones at $1 million. My budget is 600,000 to 700,000, so that we can start having a closer dialogue. So when you're showing that, if you could show a way that we can bring those leads in, because they're already being tagged with an address. So if you can give us the ability to have a workflow that we program, like I've got 147 tree line that just went live at 600,000. I'm already doing ads for it. I would love to be able to sign a workflow that people would get other homes similar to that in that area.
Yeah, so I'm thinking out loud, Paul. I'm thinking out loud, like the mechanics of that. So listing the leads connects to Go High Level. So when they look at a house on an ad or social media posts, because they do social media posts, they do ads, right? So if I do a house open house ad, I have the address of that house. I get like 75 buyers have clicked and gave me phone numbers and emails, and now they're all in my Go High Level. So when they come in, listing the leads tags them with the house number, the city, the zip code. Like the city's also tagged.
Right.
So I can then kick off a workflow when that event happens and trigger a webhook.
Amen.
And a webhook I can send over to you, Paul, with the address. And then what Campbell's saying is to dynamically build a property search based on in the webhook. I'm saying it's Ambler, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Now give me a list of homes in Ambler, Pennsylvania as a search.
Yeah. So basically,
now that person that just clicked on this house all of a sudden is going to get emails and texts about other houses in Ambler.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have an API that basically allows you to send leads into the system and specify a property alert, set up a property alert based on an address. Sounds like we just need to make that, or based on a property viewed, I should say. Sounds like we just need to make sure that is expanded a little so that it's more flexible, so that you can actually say, look, I'm passing in a zip code, an actual street address or whatever, but whatever those parameters are, we want to then create a bracket around it and use that as the basis for a listing
for the search. Yeah.
And the thing is, that's very pertinent, because we're going to be doing exactly the same thing on the market reports, because market reports are for sellers. And one of the things I've really started to understand is that most agents who are targeting with their list of sort of past clients or whatever, you have all the addresses. So what we want to have is when people are importing, take that address and set up a market report around that address automatically as well. So it's the same concept. So yeah, we're on that.
Yeah.
And the variation is apply an already saved search.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
Paul,
a couple more questions. The flexibility is going to be key. So next up, Tim, and then we'll go to Steve. On mute, Tim.
I think he lost his audio, Smarty.
Why don't we switch over to Steve? I'll switch over to Steve, and then we'll come back to you, Tim. Sort that out.
Thank you. Hey, Paul, this is Steve. I'm in Las Vegas. I sent you an email a couple days ago. When I'm in the Wizard and I'm building out the link in Las Vegas in Nevada, can we add coming soons or contingency to that drop down list for the MLS criteria?
So
should be there. Maybe it's not in the Nevada MLS, but I see coming soon, Steve.
Well, it's in Nevada MLS. It's just not on Buying Buddy for Nevada.
So what are you trying to do with that filter? You're trying to do what? Create a display or property alerts or
display, or both property alerts, displays for coming soon.
So the thing,
I'll add that to.
Yeah. So listen, by our approach on coming soon is that all MLSs have a whole variety of different statuses and sub statuses, and what we do is we take we have very simple we have three simple statuses: active, under contract, and sold. And what we do is for the filters and things like that. So what we do is we take. I mean, if it's coming soon, then the active status that you use in a filter should include coming soon and active. Okay. You can. I think there's a way in which you can break that out with the filters. So that's generally what you should see. Now, having said that, if you're not seeing what you want to see, Steve, then don't write an email to me. Put a help ticket in, all right, to my team and say, hey, I'm trying to create a filter, like I'm trying to do this, and I'm not getting the result I expect. And then you can listen, use me as a backstop, okay? If you're not getting the response you need, then let me know, okay? But get a ticket into my team and say, I'm trying to do this. And with all cases like that, what we want to do is we want to replicate the problem. So in your case, what you'd say is, hey, I'm trying to create a display of properties and this is my filter, but it's not showing properties that are under contract. Here's an MLS listing ID of a property that's actually, coming soon. Here's an MLS listing ID of a property that is coming soon. And as you can see, it's not showing up. We can then replicate the problem very quickly and solve it. But you should have coming soon. If the MLS make it available, you should have it. Okay.
Yeah, and that's the only reason I asked you.
Steve. Let me just show you real quick because this is what Steve's asking for. It may just be a Vegas thing, Steve. Because look, I'm on My Buying Buddy, and when I'm doing a search, when I hit my drop down, I can say, "Let me just see coming soons."
And Smarty, that's the only reason I asked because during your training, it shows on yours. It doesn't show on mine, but on my MLS, it does. And I'm just trying to copy everything you do.
So
yeah.
There's another level of this that hasn't been mentioned yet. For example, Houston Association of Realtors in the MLS has a coming soon status, but they do not push it out to third-party IDX providers.
Right, exactly. That can be the case as well. Yeah. That can be. So what I suggest,
so
Steve,
it could be that your MLS in Vegas is holding back. It's in your MLS, Steve, but they're not going to share it with IDX providers.
And that would not surprise me.
Yeah.
So Steve, I suggest, Steve, is create a filter, create a quick display, use active, and just look at the actives and see if the label is there for coming soon and whether any of those properties are coming soon based on what you know. If they are, then let's get those tidied up and let's make the instructions clearer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you can do in the meantime, Steve, is build a query that's active here. So you say for sale, and then right here you're going to say today.
Today.
So now that's the ones that went on the market today. So they're coming soon on Monday. If they went live today, they're going to show up.
No. And Paul, don't get me wrong. I'm just bringing it up because I'm trying to copy everything Smarty does. You have a great product, so don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I just saw those Smarties. That's all.
No problem at all. Yeah, I mean, this is good feedback. I mean, don't hesitate to give us feedback on that and ask these questions seriously.
Yeah, but I'm with all the different MLSs, like Alan just said, it's probably some of these MLSs are holding back what they share with the idea.
Yeah.
And if you open those tickets up, they're fantastic. I mean, I was missing some counties, and I opened up a ticket, and they took them a couple of days, but they got it back, and I added the counties in. So. Just open the ticket like he says. Available, it'll be there in no time.
Yeah.
Here in Arizona, they do not allow syndication of coming soon until it goes active.
Yeah.
Unless someone is on a portal search already by their realtor, and then they'll get that. But we can't even share.
You can't share it. That's why right here I would do a newly listed today, so that way you could have a page that every house that's listed today is on your website. New listings today. Tim? Still no voice.
All right.
You can ask me questions in the chat, Tim, and we'll answer it. So do you want to just show somebody how to do take everybody through, like if I want to do an umbrella search and get a link that I can put in behind a button or something like that, not on a page, Paul. So if I'm or maybe I'm going to a page, but I got to be able to just a general search of properties that any buyer coming in, you're going to put them on that search.
Well, I mean, look, first of all, when anyone's using the search function in the, using the widgets, if we go to a results page, I mean, it has this very big button at the top here, save the search and get a new listing list. So that, the consumer can do all this, save their searches and do all that. So there's a whole real estate portal for them to be able to do all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's the first thing I would say. The other thing I would say is that you can create lead capture forms, use our lead capture forms on the website. For example, we've got form widgets here. So you can do, that's the one I'm thinking of. It's this one. This variant, for example, if they fill out this, then we will set them up with a just listed alert. Okay, based on this information. Okay, we will set that up so that those APIs and mechanisms, and these APIs and mechanisms are generally available anyway. But these are widgets that do this stuff for you. Okay.
Yep.
In the back end. Yep.
Question: is there a way that you guys can create like a individual widget that allows us to, similar to what you do with the footer, do the header in our actual website's header? So like on that grid search that you had, the functionality, the top of the grid search, basically take that and separate it and put it inside of our header, like the my account.
What we need.
Yeah, you're talking about. Okay, you're talking about, Jonathan. You're talking about what we call the login panel widget. Here you go.
Yeah,
it's called the login panel widget. So here it is. It looks like this, or it can look like this, or you can just put this in the top of your page. So this is the, this is what you're looking for. It's called the login panel widget. Okay. It will do.
So if we have that on our page, would that deactivate it on the other widgets?
No, it wouldn't deactivate. That's a good point. It would not deactivate it on the other widgets. But you can see here, for example, I have it at the top here on this page. I have this up here because people, and just because that's there, I can still have, like, if I just go to a regular display, I mean, I've still got all of this stuff. I can hide these options if I want, but that's done on an individual basis. But this is different. I mean, this is much more succinct and tidy. It's not about providing this entire functionality. I mean, the My Account provides you with all of, it's a quick, we want to sell the idea to users that they've got this whole portal, that they can, go to the dashboard and see stuff, So, okay.
So go back to where it says refine filters and click on that, Paul.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
so
hold on a second. So when you hit advanced search here, you get a big pop-up.
Yes, indeed.
I want to be able to make a page that is advanced search where they can go to that page.
Yeah. That's a known. County. Yeah, Bob.
Instead of having it be a pop-up, I need it to be a page.
Yeah, so we're probably going to evolve our search to be able to do that within the next few weeks or maybe a month or so. But we're going to try and make that available. Yep, that's a known thing.
That'll be a nice feature to have that as a page.
Mm-hmm.
And can we have the ability to toggle that advanced search under refined filters on and off?
No. This is really just about, look, I mean, this is just about helping people just refine this view, or if they want to go and do a search, they can go and do an advanced search, and go to the form and do the whole thing. Yeah. So
back to
at the moment,
this is the topic, Paul, that we had a long conversation with Campbell and the team about this, is that if you look at like homes.com and realty.com and some of the other sites, they have, on that search that you just showed, the buyers on that page, they say, I'm looking for 3-bedroom, 2-bath in this town. See the homes. And now they want to refine the filter. When they refine the filter, what they've selected previously is sticky into the refinement. So I don't do a clean advanced search screen where I have to tell it 3 bedrooms, 2 baths in this town.
The refine search, right? The refine search is about adjusting what's already in that widget. Absolutely. The advanced search is about doing something.
Hang on a second. I'm on a Zoom call. Let me get rid of this call. Hold on.
Hang on a
second. We will be. One of the things that we've noticed is that the parameters that you've got on a display widget, if you click on the advanced search, it wasn't passing those parameters into the advanced search, but I think that's either been fixed or is being worked on.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I'm up. Can you hear me?
Yep. There you go, Tim.
Hey, Paul, just a quick one.
Hey,
When
Tim.
building out, hi there. When building out the widget, and you get to the end and say, oh, wait a minute, I want to go back to criteria and change something.
Yep.
Is there a way to keep things from going back to the default? Like, for
Bear with
example,
me a second. I'm trying to get out of the Zoom call.
hello? Someone else talking?
I got him.
Mark, there you go.
So,
Yeah, so-
Tim, it should preserve everything. When you use the wizard and you go backwards, you shouldn't be losing anything. So can you report that, please?
Sure. Okay. Thank
That
you.
should be
Yeah, Tim, if you can do like a screen record and show what's happening on yours.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Get to the team so they can fix that.
Campbell reported that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not right. You shouldn't lose things. That's a waste of time. All right. Cool. Well, I'm glad I've helped. I'm glad I've answered some questions. I will get back to you guys on Monday. Hopefully we'll get the wizard thing sorted out, and then we will make this much more available. But you know, the link I've given you in the chat, you can go there. You can start manually setting this up. Let me know if you hit any snags or you've got any suggestions, please.
Yeah.
Paul, any idea when the saved searches will be available for us? What we talked about with the ability to assign a search to specific leads coming in. Any idea when that will be able to be done on your end?
I don't have any visibility of that, I'm afraid, but I think that we consider that a fairly high priority. Check in with me next week or the week after. If you're not seeing this, then just listen. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, so just just let me know that you're still waiting for it.
Where do we supply the squeak at? Is what we need to know.
Oh, you can contact me. I'll hear the squeaks.
So we just go squeak squeak in the email.
Yeah. Just remind me. Just if something's a real major issue, and you feel like you really want to, and just drop me a note every now and then, and just remind me, and that will certainly get my attention. Okay.
Well, it definitely raises your value so much because you've got a great product, Paul. It's so much easier for us when we got multiple leads coming in to not have to stop.
Yeah.
Rebuild the same search every time. If we can just build it one time and then you have it for us to deploy for any other listing that is of the same area, same value that we want to send that to, it just saves us a lot of redundant, non-productive work because that work really doesn't make us any money.
Listen, no. Look, I'm completely with you on this. I mean, the biggest problem that we have, I think, is that and I see, and this is why it's a high priority. If you're creating just listed alerts or any type of market definition with map searches, holy cow, to do that every time for 12 leads, even 2 leads is a nightmare. But once you get over that, it becomes ridiculous. So yeah, that's why it's a priority. We got
Thank you so very much.
Like it. Hey, Alan,
we're not creating map searches and everything. We're creating listing alerts.
Yes, no. It might include a map area. Yeah.
Right. We need to have the ability to automatically put a listing alert on somebody.
Save a listing alert that we can apply to multiple buyers.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because one of the things I taught everybody last year, Paul, is like what I was doing in KV Core was KV Core let me have that save listing alert. And I always throw when a buyer hits my database, I haven't talked to them or know what they're looking for yet. I had a fishing net that covered 5 counties in Philadelphia from 100 to 10 bucks. And everybody would start getting homes in their inbox of these, and then they'd raise their hand and say, Smarty, that's a beautiful $10 million home, but my budget's only $200,000. And then it was a reason to talk to them, and then their search for them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Well, at least you're getting the conversation going, which is what it's all
about the conversation. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Alan?
Yeah, hey, Paul, I sent you an email maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago about HAR. Bob and I did. I know you're a busy guy. I don't know if you saw that email, or do I need to go resend it?
Well, HAR is continues to be just a major challenge for us. It's as we discussed.
Well, I understand that. The email was trying to help you get the 20 people you need.
Yeah. Well, the good news is not to do with HAR, but it looks like we may be able to connect to Arizona Regional in the next couple of weeks. I have a very large developer that I'm working with who has got 40, 50, 60 clients. And so for them to cut over to us makes a lot of sense and it covers the cost.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know, HAR is a challenge. Yeah, I mean, I saw your email. It's a struggle to get it's a lot of cash to outflow, you know?
No, I understand that. And I was trying to work with you to try to get that.
Yeah, to figure out how we could.
I'll review that again, Alan. I'll take another look at it. I'll get back to you on that.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, very good. Well, I appreciate it, Paul. We're going to be doing some market stats as a group over the weekend, so we'll get you feedback and we'll start deploying it. And you said it should show up in our the wizard sometime early next week.
Yeah, that's really the next thing that's got to happen with it. We just got to get it into the wizard. Then it becomes much more accessible. I don't want people, hand coding stuff.
Yep.
That's not going to work. So, all right, cool. All right, well, have a great day, guys. I'll drop off.
Yep, thank you.
Bye for now. Bye-bye.
So, Alan, real quick, Kate Josephs is on my EXP team. She's down in Houston.
Yeah.
She went to HAR. HAR now has a IDX add-on, or it's a capability where you could put HAR homes as a widget on any website.
Yeah,
so
I've seen that.
He's doing like the Buying Buddy stuff on her Go High Level web page.
Oh, I gotcha.
She's displaying, the home searches and stuff right on her Go High Level web page using a widget that HAR's producing, not Buying Buddy. So that may get you over the hurdle for the short term until he has it.
I'm still deploying that Rooster. I'm contract committed on Rooster. So I have my Android app is already deployed. Apple's still coming.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So what'd you guys think?
That was pretty good, but I wanna bring something up with Campbell was asking for those hooks on those listing to leads ads going to a specific area, and I don't think that's a smart idea, and I'm going to tell you why. If you were doing Google pay-per-click ads and you were doing whatever the town was, Main Street USA, then you'd want that to give them Main Street USA properties. But when you're running a listings to leads ad in Facebook, you got people that are clicking on houses just because they want to see the damn house. So if you were to send that person Main Street USA, they're going to start ignoring it because they have no intention of moving to Main Street USA. You want to send that big umbrella that Smarty's talking about to those leads. You would only want that other hook if you were doing PPC ads and only advertising to that area, and the only people getting to that ad is people that are truly interested in that area. You could be hurting yourself by only sending them houses from that.
That's a good point, Bob. Because a lot of those Facebook people, they're just click happy. They see a house coming through their feed and let's see this house, and they look at it, boom.
Right? But they could be a buyer.
Total different area or different price point.
Bob, my philosophy when I was doing this on Lofty was when someone came in on an ad, they may come in one city, but I would blanket about 4 or 5 cities around them, and I would bracket. If it was a $500,000 house, I would typically send them stuff from 3 to 800,000. That's much broader than the range they're looking at, just to try to get them to raise their hand to say, "I don't want to see this. I want to see that."
Yeah,
so
that's exactly what Bob's saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's exactly what he's saying. And
that's all I'm looking for.
You're doing too much work.
That's my.
You're doing too much work. Just send them one big one. Just send the same one big one to anywhere in your market.
I don't care if it's just one. I just want something that we can automatically send, so we don't have to manually do it every time we're trying to start a new.
That's a different point. What I was just trying to say is that you're doing too much work. You just need to have one giant blanket one.
If we have the ability just to set up our searches and save searches.
Mine's 150,000 to 50 million.
Yep.
That's what mine's set up for the counties in the surrounding area. And that opens up an easy conversation. If somebody's going in and looking at properties today, could look at 10 properties, I pick up the phone and call them and, just say, "Hey, I know you're probably just searching for homes, but I wanted to make sure you're aware I'm here for you when you're ready to shop. I'm sending you a huge list of homes because I really don't know where you want to be. And then that conversation gets them down, and you can't automatically make that search. You got to do that one manually anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a really good strategy. The fishing net strategy, you're going to open up tons and tons of conversations.
yeah, Campbell's doing the
They
same
love
thing.
getting those houses. No, they're the first to call you if it's out of their
Marty,
price.
I had that happen this morning. I literally had a lead come in from listening to leads. I built a big search. He clicked on one house 3 times. I called him this morning. He wasn't looking at 1.2 million. His budget's 500,000. So I set him up a targeted search now, and he wants to buy in the next 1 to 3 months.
Yep, that's perfect. That's
It
perfect.
was just an icebreaker is what it was. It was a reason to have a conversation.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what the fishing net does. It's an icebreaker. Do you guys want to, as an exercise, because I don't really have anything else today, topic-wise, but do you have any other questions of what we just went through? Would it be helpful to go into more tutorial of like how to deploy these on the website? We could build a community page and put the market report on there, so you guys could build a couple market reports today.
I'd love to, Smarty, can I ask one off-topic question?
Yep.
Because I haven't seen how to do this because I haven't been doing a lot with buyers. How do I move a buyer on the opportunity board? I went and looked at the tags on the community website and I couldn't find one for moving the buyer to the first stage. What are you using to take your buyer from just a buyer tag to being on your opportunity board?
Yeah, so let me share my screen. We'll go through it. Get rid of this stuff.
I know about prepare offer for cash offer and it moves it, but I don't know what to do for the buyer. And I couldn't find any place within the contact itself to move it.
Give me a second. I'll toggle over and open my screen. So there's 2 ways to do it. All right. Share screen. So I have a workflow in the system that is called create a hot buyer, create an opportunity. So that is based on a tag that is hot buyer. So let me show you how this works. Let me refresh. So on the contact screen, if I'm talking to Erica, and Erica is talking to me about a house and she's hot to trot, if I tag her hot buyer, that's going to trigger a workflow and put her on the opportunity board.
Marty, I added that and it did not move on the board. Something's got to be going on. I wonder
Yeah,
if
let's take a look at your workflow. Just look at the workflow. So the
That's
workflow
what I'm going to do right now.
So, you know what it may be? Everybody should open the workflow because I know what it may be because Go High Level sometimes doesn't insert the thing. So let's take a look. So if you search on buyer,
go to automations first.
Automations is a workflow called Buyers Create Opportunity. In fact, let me just see who that is.
Buyer contact created.
So she went in there. She went in there. So let me just look here. Yeah, so that's why it didn't happen. So Go High Level, guys. Sometimes when I install a snapshot, it doesn't update the metadata, if you would. So here's what I want everybody to do. So everybody's got to fix this. So I want everybody to go to automations. And when you're in automations, let me just refresh. In automations, there's a search window. In the search window in automations, I want you to type in the word buyer. So right here, type in buyer in the search window, and you will see a workflow that's called ProEdge Buyers Create Opportunities. Does everybody see that?
I do not see it, Smarty.
I don't see it either.
I found it.
Everybody has it. Just go to the automation, search the word buyer. Everybody has it. So let me go back again. I'm going to get off the menu. I'll go over anywhere. I'll go to the dashboard. I come down to automations, Tim. I'm not going in the folder yet. All I'm doing is going to this search window and typing in the word buyer. And it's right down here. Did you find it, Tim?
I think I just got logged out somehow.
Chris, did you find it?
I found it.
All right. Chris, did you find it?
Yep, I'm there.
Okay, everybody's there. So open the workflow. It's a simple workflow. Okay. This workflow is based on a tag that's called hot buyer. So if you're talking to a buyer on the contact screen, if you just tag that buyer hot buyer, this workflow's job is to put them on the hot buyer opportunity board, ready to shop. Okay. What you want to do is click this create opportunity box here. And what's missing here is the pipeline and the stage. So when I gave you the snapshot, go high level, didn't insert that. So you're going to go in and pick buyer leads, and you're going to put them in the hot buyer stage. That's all you have to do. And then down here, make sure the status is open. And then you hit save and publish.
Marty, run through that one more time, please.
Okay, so you open up the workflow. You click on this box that says create opportunity. On the left-hand side or on the right-hand side in the editor, it says in pipeline. That's blank, so you got to select the buyer leads pipeline. And then it says what stage in the pipeline do you want to put them in? And I put them in the hot buyer lead stage.
Marty, can you produce a list for us over the weekend of which workflows we got to go into update now that we found that this has happened? It's probably the same on others. If you can tell us the ones we need
I'll go through and just do an audit and just see if there's anything else missing.
Thank you, sir. That would be real helpful for us to make sure that it's deploying correctly. You can't crew the fuck up that Go High Level's doing with the shots, but we have to have a solution to fix it on our end.
Fix them, absolutely.
Yep.
Marty, where you show hot buyer leads on the pipeline stage, I just have hot lead. Is that the same thing?
It should say hot buyer lead.
No, I have a hot lead also.
It says hot lead.
Do it as hot lead. It doesn't matter the name of it, guys. Just it's a hot lead. Just go to the pipeline, and it's just the first top of the funnel.
Well, Smarty,
Marty, it
may matter at some point. So if you're moving sellers that you into a seller opportunity and you're using hot lead there too, how does it know if it's a buyer or a seller?
Oh, no. Tim, are you talking about the tag or the opportunity stage name?
Maybe I clicked the wrong spot. I thought you were under create.
Yeah, that's create.
Opportunity. I clicked on that. And like you, I've got in pipeline buyer leads. And then when I go to pipeline stage, the only choice I have is hot lead.
Well, you should see a bunch in the buyers. You should active shopping, on hold.
Yeah, I see that under contract, on hold, pending. But the first one is hot lead, not buyer.
Yeah, that's okay. That's just the name. Okay. So that's totally different, Bob, because that's on the buyer board. So it's not the tag. The tag, a hot seller will go on the seller board. The buyer will go on the buyer board. So what that just did, guys, now if I go back over to contacts and I grab Erica again, if I remove her tag and now I tag her a hot buyer because she's talking to me, she's ready to go. When I tag her, you see it just created the opportunity right here. You see in her history, the opportunity just got created. I can click on here and open it up. If I know she's shopping for $450,000, she tells me that's what her budget is. I'm going to put $450,000 right here, and I'm going to hit update. Okay, so it just created the opportunity. Now, if I come over to the opportunity board and I look at my buyers, Erica's right there now with a $450,000 price tag.
Do you hear
So
the
Smarty,
What's
Smarty,
important for everybody is you use the opportunity value is an important field on the opportunity screen because all the metrics in the dashboard, when I come up here to the dashboard and I start looking at, like, if I come in here and say, how's my business doing? And I do a date range, right? So this week I got $450,000 opportunity, one opportunity in the just today, right? So I just put her on there, and now in the dashboard it's saying I only have one opportunity in my whole business, and it's $450,000. But if I say, let's look at, from this date to this date, now it says I have 84 million in opportunities, and I've closed 6.2 million so far in 2025. Right? Or whatever the date range is. So this is super important. And then when you're looking at the pipelines here on the dashboard, you can see where everybody is in the dashboard. So I got $9 million in pre-approval. I have 8.3 million in active shopping right now with my buyers. On hold, I got 3.2 and so forth. So it's showing me the health of my business. But it relies on the opportunity value field. So if am I listing a house, or when I create a seller opportunity, I take the list price for an expired and put it in the opportunity value. Okay, so we know the value from the seller. I'll pre-populate the value for the opportunity. But for a buyer, I wait to talk to the buyer. And when the buyer says my husband and I are looking for 600,000 range, I'll put the value as 600,000 on the opportunity. So that way in my business, when I'm looking at the dashboards, I can see the health of my business with what's the value of the client.
Recording in progress.
So then do you have a hot listing or hot seller equivalent?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So that's all in here too. So let me just review all the boards for everybody. So
I know the board.
If you ever use
looking for
Trello,
the automation side of it.
So I was using Trello. A Trello board is Trello board is very similar to this. Go High Level now. I fired Trello. I was paying them every year to have a Trello board. Now I do it all in Go High Level. So first and foremost, if I come over, just so you understand the nomenclature, the names, these are what's called pipelines. So every board is a pipeline, and the pipeline has opportunities on the pipeline. Okay, so what I've given everyone, I'll just kind of go through my thought process of how I manage my pipelines. If you don't like my philosophy, you could create your own. You could change the names, and Tim, this is how you're going to change it the way you want. So if you go to opportunities and you go over here to pipelines right here, I have a buyer pipeline. I have a contract to close pipeline. I'm going to show you that in a minute. So anybody that goes under contract, whether I'm working with my listing and it goes under contract, or I have a buyer that put an offer and it got under contract, both of those go on the contract to close opportunity board. And the opportunity board goes from under contract to inspection phase, appraisal, underwriting, close, right? So it has the stages of a contract to close. Listing appointments, another one here. Rent to own board, I did a separate board for rent to own. I have a FSBO prospecting board, a general prospecting, a cash offer, and a listing board. Okay, so you can consolidate these. There's a big green button up here. You can create your own pipelines. So if I create my pipeline, I give it a name, and then I add all the stages. Okay, if, like Tim, you said, oh, mine doesn't say hot buyer, go to the buyer lead one right here, Tim, in pipeline, and hit the little pencil. These are the stages that I put in place when I manage all my buyers. So any buyer that raises their hand for me and says, hey, my husband and I just saved enough money, Smarty, we're going to be looking for a house at the end of March or in April, I create an opportunity for them and put them on my hot buyer board. Okay. So now they're on the opportunity board. Now, when I get closer, I'm going to be reminding them and touching base with them in that next 30 days, find out when they're ready. Now I find out they're ready. They need approval to get a pre-approval letter from the lender. I drop them into the pending pre-approval one. So what I've done, and I'll show you, I have some workflows that I built. You can invite your lenders into the CRM. So what I do is I'll show you the workflows, but I built workflows for the intersection between you and the lender. So my lender's in my CRM, and his name's Emmett. So if I'm going to recommend to get pre-approval, I'm sending it over to Emmett for pre-approval. So in that workflow, when I drag it from hot buyer to pending pre-approval, what I do in the workflow is, and when it's in a hot buyer lead, I'm the owner of the lead and Emmett's the follower. When I move it into pending approval, the workflow switches it. Emmett's the lead for the contact and I'm the follower. And when I move it over to that pipeline, I send notices to Emmett with a text and an email and all the details to let him know that he's got to get this person pre-approved. When he gets the person pre-approved, he uploads the pre-approval letter to the contact record. He puts notes on the contact for me. And then he moves it into the active shopping pipeline. And that notifies my team it's time to shop for the family. So we're doing the intersection and notifying both parties from, hey, it's on his bucket over here to get pre-approved. It's now pre-approved. Smarty starts shopping. They're pre-approved for $700,000, right? I'm going to update the opportunity board, and now I go out active shopping.
There's another in that pending for approval is another campaign that we should work on. Is we get these leads from internet, right? So they're high in the funnel. So just because you say go get pre-approval doesn't mean they do. So there needs to be an email campaign that nudges or urges or
yeah, I already have that. You're going to see that, Alan. I worked with Emmett. Let me double check to see if it's in your account, but I think I did it in everybody's account.
Okay.
But talking to the lender, I built a lender pre-approval 10-day sprint, bug the shit out of them, automation. So I sent them a text, an email, Hey, did you get your income documents? Did you download the app to get your pre-approval? Are you getting the stuff to Emmett so we built some automations for that exact reason, Alan. So like I put them in that bucket and then they don't send the income documents for 3 weeks, right? Yeah. So they can't get pre-approved or they don't communicate back to Emmett.
And if that falls through, it goes back into a buyer nurture, I would assume.
Yep. We put them back in buyer nurture. And then there's also what I call not approved. So he calls back and says their credit's a mess. I can't get them approved. I'm going to move them to the not approved. And then one thing I'm going to build, Emmett and I just talked yesterday, I'm going to build a credit repair drip campaign. I want to collaborate with you, Bob. We'll do some ChatGPT stuff. And I'm thinking we have if they go to the not approved phase, then we're giving them helpful information like rental karma and some other stuff, to get your credit where it needs to be and come back and see me. And then we'll do some automations there when they're not approved. Yep. Now, Tim, if you like the word hot buyer lead, you just change it right here. You change whatever the label is you want.
That's fine. It matched up when you went to here, so I'm good.
Yeah. So you could just change the label. If you want these different order, there's an up and down, so you could change the order of the pipeline. So if I wanted not approved next to approval, and then active shopping on hold and under send to contract, you could change the order of the pipeline. Down here, there's a couple check boxes. Do you want this pipeline visible in the funnel chart and the pie charts? So you may have a pipeline that's kind of behind the scenes. You don't want it in your dashboard and your metrics. So you can say to the system, I don't want these numbers on this pipeline counted on the metrics.
Hey, Smarty, I've got an integration or a pipeline called integration pipeline. Is that still valid?
No, we're not. The integration pipeline you get rid of. The whole idea it was more for Dub and some other things we were doing. Now Dub has a native connection you saw from Darius last week. So I was doing some zaps. So I had an integration pipeline that would just move it and trigger the integration to somewhere else. But you don't need the integration pipeline.
Hey, Smarty, real quick before you leave, those checks at the bottom of that page you just had up, mine are all turned off. Should those be turned on?
Oh, I would turn them all on. Yeah, all my pipelines should be turned on because it's actual deals we're putting on the board.
They're actually turned off of mine, so I'll go make sure it's changed. Thanks.
So Smarty, my question about sellers was, I didn't see, I did a search for opportunities and automations and only a buyer opportunity was there. Is there I didn't see a seller opportunity automation that would a trigger on a tag.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you the other way I handle sellers, because I could add more automations to do it, because we could add a ton more automations, no doubt, on how they interact. But I'll tell you how I handle the sellers when I'm on the phone with the seller, he wants me to list the house or so. Like this morning, I picked up another listing. So if you look at these pipes, when you're in the pipes, there's also this bulk action. So you could look at you could do all kinds of bulk stuff here that you're doing with the opportunities. But in the pipes, you literally filter the pipes up here in the top left. So if I look at my listing pipe, I have $5 million, 14 sellers that are telling me that they want to list with me this year. Okay. So these are people that I've already connected with. They raised their hand. They told me that, hey, Smarty, I'm going to wait till May to put the house on the market. Come see me in May. I have another guy, the $1.2 million house. He called me. He's like, come see me the second week of March. I want you to list it, the end of March, early April, right? So what I'm going to show you is how I get them on the board first, but I get them on the board as the potential listing because there's still potential. He's telling me he wants to list with me, but I don't have anything signed yet. But then as we get closer and we're getting the listing agreements and the paperwork signed, I may go right from potential listing to active listing. So I had Bob on Dickinson in South Philly. He was on the potential listing last November. And he said, I want to list it middle of December, early January. So when I reached out to Bob, who, by the way, Bob, this Bob is an EXPer in Delaware, so it's a referral. So he started on the potential listing, and then he reached out to me in December. He said, Smarty, let's get it ready. I want to get it on the market, early 2025. So I went from potential listing to get the listing agreements all signed, and I moved them from potential over to active listing. So this is the listing sitting right here. And then over here, the listing prep, I put them in this category when we're doing any kind of rehab. So Dewan on Doe is a Zoom Casa deal. So we're doing a $108,000 renovation. So on the $108,000 renovation, it's in the listing prep phase until we come out of the renovation. Then I'll move it to active listing. Make sense, guys? Now you'll see you could have in the opportunities, you could have a one-to-many relationship with sellers and opportunities. So Randy, I don't know if Tom's still on. Randy called me. He was one of my leads from Listing to Leads. It was like a expired listing that he wanted to sell. No, actually Randy came from a referral. So one of my buyer clients is living with Randy. It said, my boyfriend wants to sell his house. So Randy started with one house. And then as we talked to him, he said, I got 4 houses I want you to sell, Smarty. So we're in the process of getting under contract in these houses. So we're out getting pictures and we're getting we're going to do, one of them is going to be a wholesale deal. And then we're going to do some, maybe some Zoom Casa deals with some of his other houses. So as you can see, in the opportunity board, I have the name of the seller and the address on all the listing ones that I have here. And then I have my cash offer board. And these are the cash offer guys going out. So this shows me how many these guys are raising their hand. So when they raise their hand, you'll see, I'll show you where that is out. And this goes on automatically when they raise their hand. And then we have request offers, appointment booked, waiting for reply, generate letter of intent, review offers, offer accepted, offer rejected.
Yeah, well, I think the one I was looking for is the previous one, the listing ones, because I get Upnest, which is a subsidiary of Realtor.com.
Yeah.
And they're just a raw lead off the internet for the most part. And So what I'll probably do is I'll probably copy your buyer one, hot buyer one, and I'll reproduce it for the seller side.
Okay, so the way I do it, let me show you how I do it right now. We could make it based on a tag, Alan, but I don't do it that way. So let's say this expired. I talked to him and he said, Smarty, I like your material. And, that he raises his hand and this seller is, in a conversation with the seller, he's telling me that, yeah, I'm firing my existing agent. I like your marketing. I want to get you in. What you do here, Alan, is I just come down here and I click on opportunities and I say, put them on a board. Okay. What board? Hot seller lead. Boom. He's done.
Yeah. I've
So
seen
this, to me, this is faster than, I could do a tag if I wanted that will do the same thing. But
it doesn't bring the address or anything else over. Just
correct.
I could suggest a faster way, and I didn't migrate to Smarty's opportunities because I already had opportunities set up.
Yeah.
I have a new column in every opportunity, and I have the incoming lead get put on the opportunity immediately. So everybody's already in the opportunities. I don't have to go tag anybody. When it becomes a hot lead, I just shift it from new to hot. And I actually have, like for the buyer's leads, they're new for 15 days. And then they automatically get moved to nurture when they get put on the buyer nurture plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, so like Smarty was saying, you can set these up any way
you want to run your business. Yeah. My philosophy was, because I talked to Bob months ago about this, I don't want every seller that hits my system on an opportunity board, right? I manage opportunities in the contact list because I may get 275 expired listings tonight. I don't want 275 opportunities in my new lead on my opportunity board. I wait until they raise their hand. If they raise their hand, they show up on my board.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes sense.
The other 200 that told me to F off, stop, and text messages, I don't want them on my board, right?
Yeah.
So that was my philosophy, but you could do it the other way and put everybody on the board, right? So that's just two different methodologies. But let me show you the automations that we have, because what I have here, Alan, is if you come into the seller, there is a seller checks out values workflow.
Yeah.
So when the seller raises their hand, I automatically create the opportunity and put them on the board.
Yeah.
So I don't have a separate based on a tag, put them on the board, Alan.
Yeah.
I wait until the seller raised their hand, and they raise their hand by clicking on a button in an email and checking Joe's cash offer, cash value.
Gotcha.
Okay. So inside of that one, and again, guys, this is the other one, Campbell, because I just looked at it here. The stages weren't set. So what we got to do is fix this one too. So let me show everybody how to fix this one, because this is another one that just needs fixing.
Hang on, let us catch up. Where are you?
Yeah, we'll let you catch up. So come back to your workflow list. If you're in the workflow list, and Campbell, these are probably the only two, because I only have one for sellers, one for buyers. So
that's fine. Send us a link for that if you would. I just got an appointment, so I'm no longer at my computer.
Yeah. I'll send you a link. I'm going to send out a notice to everybody so everybody fixes this. But if you come into my ProEdge folder and you come to the seller automations folder, you're going to see the third one down. It's called the ProEdge checkout value and offers emails. Does everybody see that? We're going to open that up. And at the top of this email, the second box down is
eardrum to get to that.
The opportunity.
I don't know.
So this is where the opportunity gets created. And you're going to pick the pipeline you want to put them in and the stage you want to put them in. So again, you can manage your own pipelines and stages. What I have for you, or I built already, is called the seller leads cash offer pipeline. And where I like to put them is in the hot lead stage of the pipeline.
So mine doesn't have that SMS in it.
Oh, that was another training I did. Remember when we turned off for version 5, I didn't put any SMS in any of the work automations for version 5, Bob.
Okay.
After the ruling happened on the 27th that we're not restricted anymore, I put all the SMS workflows back into your sub, but I had a separate training. You're going to have to, if you want to kick those SMSs off, you just have to add the step in the workflow so it kicks off that SMS. So if you guys didn't do it, I'll show you how to do it real quick. It's real easy. Tom, do you have it?
No, I don't.
Smarty.
Smarty, hey, Smarty, quick suggestion. Why don't you, can you record this part independently to send back out?
No, I'm going to just do it. I'm going to do a separate video to put in the training about fixing the 2 workflows for opportunities.
Got it.
And I'll just do it as a separate training off.
I was going to say, while you're doing it now, you could shoot a dub and you're done.
Yep. I'll just show everybody real quick while we're live. So real quick, guys, because you want to fix this. This is a hot workflow because you're sending out tons of emails and buyers are clicking on buttons going up to see their values. So
don't forget to hit save, Smarty.
Yeah, I will. There's 2 up top that you may only have this one. You may not have this SMS one. Tom, do you have this SMS versus the hot lead?
No, I don't, Smarty. I just I don't have that.
Me neither.
So the first thing we're going to do is we'll add the SMS. So let me delete this here. So yours probably looks like mine. First thing we're going to do is there's a little plus sign right here. See the plus sign at the very top? We're going to click on the plus. And in the search window on the right, we're going to look for the word workflow. And they have an action that's called add to a workflow. Do you guys see that, Tim?
Yep.
Click on add to workflow. And up here in the name, I like to change the name so it doesn't just say add to workflow. So I'm going to say assign seller to hot seller board, right? Whatever you want to call it, just so it's meaningful for you. The next field is we're going to select the workflow that we want to put them into. So all you have to do is start typing in the word SMS. And these are all my SMS automations. The one that we're going to put it on, you'll see down there, there's one called checked website SMS campaign. So I'm going to pick the check website campaign. So what this automation does is after they check their website, it waits about an hour or a time period. And then it's going to send a text message to the seller says, hey, I just saw you're up on my website checking your cash offers and values. Do you have any questions? Right? And it's going to nudge them a couple times.
So Smarty, we got a trigger for home value and a trigger for cash offer there. And you've got the next step. It says create cash offer hot lead. Well, a home value click is much different. I don't want, if I'm sending out my monthly and it's going to my sphere, I don't want them on the cash offer board. I don't want them getting a cash offer SMS.
So we could split that up, Bob. That's a good point. I mean, we could have it so we have a split, so we put them on 2 different boards. So if it's a home value,
what you just added there, we were adding to put them on an SMS campaign. You might have written it up at the top here, add to board, but that's not what we did. We put them on an SMS.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is there's an SMS specific for cash offer. So somebody that's clicked on the cash offer, we have a separate SMS plan for them. And you don't want the people who click your sphere, who click their home value, getting put on a cash offer board.
Yeah, that's I like that. I like what you're saying. That's a good point. So what we'll need to do, guys, is we we could put we could either, like, I could either build, like, moving forward, I could do an update over the weekend or next week where I give you two new workflows, and we're going to retire this workflow where I'll have one just for home values and one for just cash offers when they click on that button. And then on the home values one, we'll put them on the listing, a potential listing pipeline. Or where do you think we should put them, Bob? On probably the potential listing side?
For the people who click their home value?
Yeah.
So more than likely, your cash offer clicks are going to be expireds, list pendants, FISBOs, and like mine are already on board. So I normally take any board stuff you have out or I change it to where I want to move to.
Yeah.
So like if they're at new and they raise their hand, then they're going to get moved to, a different stage on my board. They're not going to just get put on a board. But yeah, the SMS, we have it specific for cash offer. So we should definitely have a specific flow. All you would have to do with this is just make this one here cash offer, duplicate it.
Yeah.
And make the other one home value and just change that one step.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Hey, Bob and Smarty, doesn't it depend on who they are? Because for instance, you just said that your sphere and Smarty, this is what I talked to you about on Monday. A house that I just closed 3 weeks ago was getting cash offers based on this workflow. And you just had me go in there and just take them off the automations. But that's going to keep happening. Don't we need to parse that out depends on who they are?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about now.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Like Sphere, if you're on a Sphere person, you should be getting well, if you're a Sphere, you still want to get the home valuations, because if I own a house, they're my Sphere. Check the value of your house 6 months from now, or is your house going up?
Right. That's my point. That's going to be most of those people are going to be Sphere, or they could be buyers, because we've got that trickled in the buyer nurture in case they also have to sell.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I'm thinking they have to be on the listing board, in a stage on the listing board. Maybe we add a new stage called home value stage, where or we have already a hot seller lead or potential seller. To me, it's a potential seller if they keep checking their value of their house.
Yeah.
Could you just have a split, like an if and then? Like if they have this Sphere tag, then you move them this way. You send Bob a notification, but you don't send a text message to the client or the Sphere person. And if they don't have that tag, now they'll go through like the cold, basically like what this is.
Yeah.
Well, there's no reason not to send the checked value to people who check their value. I mean, we have an SMS for checked value separate from the SMS for checked cash offer.
Yeah.
So that's what even if it's a Sphere, I'm okay with that, saying, hey, I saw you. I mean, that's fine going to my Sphere, but I don't want going to my Sphere unless they actually clicked cash offer is the cash offer one.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll split these out over the weekend and just give you guys on Monday. We'll cover the deployment of it. There'll just be 2 new workflows with different SMS campaigns tied to them. And then we'll retire this guy in your system. So that way this won't fire anymore. In fact, we'll get it out of your system. So that way, moving forward, anybody that clicks either the value or the cash will go down different activities and different boards. And I may do it, Julian, as a if, right, just to simplify it. But I'll design it so there's 2 distinct paths, whether you're looking at values or cash. Chris?
Yeah, hi, thanks. I came in a little late. I may have missed this, but my question, and it's kind of off topic, but if you can point me in the right direction, I think it was on Monday we talked about FAQs. And I don't know whether, and I kind of got lost. So I don't know if we have a process for doing that. I don't know if we're adding a page to our website for FAQs.
Oh, yeah.
But we talked about that being helpful for SEO.
Hey, Chris, when I brought that up, that's kind of the cherry on top. So once you get everything built, it's
Mhm.
something to go polish.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Jonathan lost me when he posted the code from ChatGPT. Like, what do I
Yeah.
do?
If you go to
Chris,
Gemini, they just updated it to 2.0. You can just ask it for the common FAQ code, and then you can actually give it a list of FAQs and format it. That's
Okay.
what I've been doing.
Okay. But then what
so
do you
yeah,
do with that? What do you do
you
with
can
that
ask ChatGPT, but I'll show you what you do with it, Chris. So if you go to your trade-in program, Chris, trade-in
code? Okay.
page, I already
Okay.
have an FAQ at the bottom.
Ooh, okay.
So you already have this. So if I open up the trade-in page, somebody's looking, they have my video, they're looking about how the trade-in works. And then down here, it's like frequently asked questions. How does my home qualify? What areas do you cover? What's cash to keys? Right. So this is what's called a FAQ element that you can put on a page and go high level. So
Oh, okay.
it's real easy, real easy. So as I'm designing, let me just go in here and I'll go to like, let's just say on Meet Smart the Realtor, I want an FAQ on my digital card, right? So I don't have an FAQ on here. Okay, what you do is you create a block. So remember in the hierarchy, blocks, columns, elements, right? So it goes in that order. So I'm going to put a new block here and I'll just make it either wide or full column. I could change it later. Now I'm going to add the columns. So FAQs is typically one column.
Okay.
And then I add element. And if you come down here, there is a,
There it is.
did I just pass it?
Yep. FAQ.
Yep, there it is right there. You just go, boop, pop it in. And there it is. And now you give it a, how are you? Right?
Okay.
Text, right? And then over here, these are the FAQ list. And then you click on the one you want, and then there's also all kinds of stuff. You can say, don't show the image. And then, like I said with you guys last week, play around with all the attributes because you can make this really, really cool. Like, do you want to expand all at the same time? Do you want to collapse on toggle buttons? Do you want the first one always open? So I usually click this one, Chris, to say when they go to my FAQ, the first question's already open, right? You could change the fonts, the colors, the formatting, the font size, and that's how I got the design on mine. So when you click on the question, it turns orange, and then the thing, so they know what question they're on. That's just playing with the attributes.
Okay.
Hey, Smarty, just so you know, with the FAQ, that you don't need to go through all those steps. There is a pre-built. You just grab it and drop it in.
Yep. Yeah,
so you don't have to go through that. You don't have to go through the element. You don't have to go through anything. You just grab it and drop it at the bottom.
Yeah, so let me show you what Bob's talking about. So Go High Level gives us lots and lots of fun stuff. So I can build it like this, right? Or if I get out of here, let me close these out. If I come over to the plus sign, they over here on the left-hand side, they have all kinds of stuff. So these are the raw elements. So I have to build the raw elements. But over here, you have like the widget marketplace. You have
pre-built sections is where it's at. Pre-built right there.
Pre-built sections. You have all kinds of stuff here. So they already have pre-built buttons, pre-built social media icons, timers. There's all kinds of stuff you could put on your page. So the pre-built sections here, there's an FAQ here, and you can say, I like this one or this one, like a white or black one. You just drag and drop it on the page.
That's for me.
Yep. And now you configure each one. So what Jeff's saying for SEO and what Jonathan was saying, Chris, is you want to learn from the AI engine how to properly set up your questions so they're highly optimized for search engine parameters, right? And then you have the questions and the answers and all that stuff. You're going to ask, I asked ChatGPT to come up with the right kind of questions that somebody will ask on the trade-in page. And then I get my questions and I say, give me the questions and answers, and then build my FAQ.
Wonderful. It's easier than I thought.
Yep, really easy.
Hey, Smarty, I got a question going back to workflows.
Yep.
I know you're going to show us how to add our lenders in there and all that. So once a buyer, once we're under contract, can you create a workflow that sends it to those of us that have a TC and then connect that entire team? Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the value of the workflows. The standard we call them standard operating procedures.
I want to get to, if we don't have it already, I want to get to that point where
it's
approved, we found the house, we're under contract, boom, it goes off to everybody else, right?
Yep. Yeah. Now to add people, guys, like if you go to my settings and Smarter the Realtor to my staff, these are all my staff. So it's not just my staff, it's my partners. So there's Emmett Harkins, he's the lender. Emmett has a login to my CRM, Steve. So he's actually updating notes on the contact and he's uploading the approval document. And I have a workflow that notifies him when it goes into pre-approval. And then he notifies me when they come out of pre-approval. And we have the collaboration between each other as we're getting to the pre-approval and then to the settlement table. So, and then adding your TC could be added here. So you add your TC in here. So they have a login, and then you could have a workflow that says once I go under contract, the TC gets assigned as the owner of the lead. And then from the TC perspective, they're going to be adding notes and doing other things. And then they'll use whatever systems they use for the TC work. Like an EXP, we use SkySlope.
Or do I have to train? So I'll have to train them on how to navigate.
Well, you could either have them log in or you could just send an external SMS to them.
Okay.
Right. So they don't have to be a user of this. You want to put them in here in staff though, because everybody in staff in a workflow, guys, like if I just build a standard workflow, let me just show you how to build one from scratch.
Do you have more than one lender or do you only have one?
I have like 3 lenders I work with.
Okay.
But Emmett's my primary guy. So I'll just call it my under contract flow, right? Give it a name. So this could be based on a tag. So I could either make it based on a tag, or what I'd like to do instead of a tag, I could say opportunity status change. And I'll say if they're in the pipeline, buyer lead, and stage moves to under contract. Okay. So that's going to be the trigger of this workflow. So they're on my buyer board. We're shopping for a house. They found the house. We submitted an offer. The offer got accepted. I log into my CRM and I move them. I can either based on a tag or a manual move on the board. I move them over to under contract.
Beautiful.
Or I can tag them under contract and it moves them to under contract. So you could either do it on a movement of the board or just tag them and it moves them on the board. Either way. So this is going to trigger it. And then what do I want to do? So over here, I could say notify my TC. So you say send an internal notification. It says, how do you want to notify? Email, SMS, or a notification? You know what notifications are? They're like on Apple, like a push. It's called a push notification.
Yeah.
So they get a push notification on their phone. So I'll say push notification or SMS. And then down here it says who gets it. Particular user, custom phone number. So I could just put the phone number in for my lenders so they're not in here. So if they're not in my staff, I just want to send a text to this random person, maybe my title company. I could put my title company's phone number in here and then it automatically will text them that we're under contract. Or I could do assign users. So these are who's the user assigned to the lead. All users or particular users. So if I know that Emmett is the guy, I'm going to send it right to Emmett. He's my lender. And then down here, I'm going to send him a message. Yo, M. And then I'll say, contact Let me get that out of there. I don't want that one. Hit it by mistake. So I'm going to put in the opportunity is looking to get pre-approved, right? Whatever. So you're sending that text message to somebody on your team. So that could, Steve, be your TC, and you could send them the phone number, the email, the phone number, the client's name. We're under contract. You can put the house number. Like if the opportunity has the house name in it, it'll already have the house number. So now my TC gets that notice.
Boom.
Okay.
So you can do this with everybody, right? General
I
contractor.
do this with everybody. I
Want to
can let
paint the
know.
house.
Yeah, because I always use the same inspector for all my buyers, right? Unless they bring an inspector.
I
So
wish we could do that in Nevada. We can't do that.
So I'll send it over to Dave, the inspector. Say, hey, we got to get an inspection done. You know, TC, there's your job, and then we open up title and we're good to go.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
So you can decide how you want your standard operating procedure to work in Nevada when something happens, like going under contract. What do we want to do?
Okay.
And then you could string this. So you can call this one. This one's called notify lender. And then I could do another one. Notification. And this one's going to be called notify TC. Right? Send them an email. Right? You can send them an email right from here, Steve.
No, that's perfect. And that all happens at the same time.
Yep. Yep. And then that workflow fires. It's going to send a notice to the lender, an email to the TC, something to the inspector, move them from this board over to this board. So I have a contract to close board. So what I'm going to do when they change to under contract from the buyer lead to send over to under contract, one of the other things I would do here in the automation is I'd come over here and I'll hit opportunity again. I'm going to update the opportunity and I'm going to put this opportunity in the under contract stage of the contract to close board. Does everybody know what I just did there?
Yeah.
So, and I always put the same opportunity name in the board, right? And then the source, I put the same source so I don't lose the source. So the opportunity name, the source, and then the value. I'll use the value from the opportunity. Lead value. And status is going to be open. So now what this workflow is going to do, and you always want to make sure it's turned on, there's a publish button because it's in draft right now. But now this workflow, when I move somebody from the active shopping board over to send it's under contract, that's going to trigger this workflow. And that's when all the notices go out and it moves it off of the buyer's board and puts it on the under contract board.
Beautiful. So I'm gonna go back and watch this once you post it and do all that, set all that up. Because right now I don't have any staff members. I didn't set any of that up yet. So okay. Thank you.
Really automate the whole operating procedure of how you do things.
I'm trying to automate everything if I can. Yeah.
Hey, Marty, I had something come up this morning. I was I've got a divorced mother that doesn't make any money trying to figure out how to get out of her house and move on. And I asked ChatGPT how long it's taken for a list pendants to foreclose and got the answer. But I thought, let me go get my own stats. So I went in and tried to set up a search for list pendants and notice of sale. And what's happening is if somebody's already in the system as a list pendants, they go to notice of sale and I bring them in again. Well, they're getting blocked because we're not allowing duplicates, but they're also not getting assigned, notice of sale, and a notice of sale courthouse doesn't automatically get on them. So anybody that I had list pendants that went to notice of sale is not getting the notice of sale courthouse program, and they're not getting tagged because they were already in the system as a list pendants.
So I think what we have to do there, Bob, is in the foreclosure, the courthouse automation where they're got a notice of sale. In that workflow, we probably want to make sure we remove that other tag and then take them out of the pre-foreclosure automation and put them in, because it should automatically put them in, but we got to do some more cleanup.
No, so the problem is we have the whole system set up not to duplicate a lead. So I had somebody go list pendant 6 months ago, and now they go to notice of sale. When I import the notice of sale, they don't come in because they're already in there.
Are you getting it from doesn't My Plus Leads update the status with a new tag?
Well, they can't update the status on those because they've never been listed. There's no they can't update the status because the status is based off a listing going back active.
But don't they have pre-foreclosures in listing the leads?
Oh yeah, but they give us the
My Plus Leads.
Right, but they a pre-foreclosure is being brought in manually by you, and a notice of sales bring in manually by you. Well, they're not talking to each other like the MLS is talking to the. So FSBO.
Oh, I see what you're. So when you go into My Plus Leads, you run another search. You now see somebody that has a notice of sale.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not even running
downloading her.
Yeah, they come in automatically. I just go grab them when they come in.
Yeah.
So
how many are you dealing with on that list? Is that a big list?
How big is my list pendants list and my notice of sale list?
Well, list pendants is I'm not worried about because they will come in automatically. But if
they don't come in automatically, I have to go grab them.
Well, I mean, the grab, like the pre-foreclosures, you have to go in and download them instead of like the expired.
So no, in My Plus Leads, you don't need to download them. They've got a sync button there.
Well, no, that's what I'm doing. I'm syncing.
Yeah, you're logging into My Plus and syncing them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
here's
different
what's happening.
Right.
We're talking
So then,
about the other seller types.
Yeah, I understand.
Come in.
Right. So I
understand, but with that sync button, My Plus Leads should be able to update. This just the smartness and programming on their side. They should know that they can easily update a status. They just need to know to do it with that sync function.
Yeah, well, I'm syncing it,
Yeah,
but
because you think about it, Bob, it's no different than
blocked. It's getting blocked because.
No. Let's take the word sync to the real meaning of sync. A sync means let's update. You don't have to add a new record. If they can have the logic, if the record's already there, then update the field.
Yeah, because Bob, that and Alan's right because that's what it does for expires, Bob. So it syncs an expired, and then 4 hours later it goes active. The sync will sync again and add a tag active to the expired.
Right, but those are all automated from information coming from the MLS. There's no automation to list pendants and notice of sale, none whatsoever. And I think the word sync is a misnomer. The sync is a misnomer. It's just an import. That's all it is.
I understand that. But hold on, but it's still. But they can the sync. That's what's happening behind the scenes with the MLS. If the record's already there. They know the record's already there with the MLS. I just update the status, right? So here, they already know that we already got the first notice. Now it's going to the second stage of foreclosure. They still know it. They can still write it properly.
Yeah, it may just be a bug on their side, Bob, that, because that sync process on pre-foreclosures and the notice of sale guys, if it already exists, their logic in the sync when it imports should be if it exists, update the tag. If it doesn't exist, create the record. And that's how the import works with Go High Level, by the way, as well. If I bring in, a seller that has the same email it doesn't update to the seller, it doesn't create a new seller. And that's what you want. So you want that person that's in your system that's list pendants, and then this week they went to the courthouse notice. You want that tag to be applied to that same seller, and then that kicks off the courthouse automation. And in this courthouse automation, what we should do, I don't know if I put it in there. Yeah, we should add a step in here that removes them from the pre-foreclosure automation.
Now, Smarty, I think you hit on something as an interim gap. If you was to manually export and manually import, Go High Level will natively do the update.
Yeah. So for the courthouse people, Bob, your workaround now until MyPlus fixes it, we got to let MyPlus leads guys know that there's a bug. And then on the pre-foreclosure syncs with the courthouse people, because it should work the same way. But there's a bug on MyPlus that we have to get fixed. But the workaround is, instead, if you export the courthouse notice people and just use the import feature and Go High Level, then that existing seller will get a new tag. And then in here we could have an automation say remove them out of the pre-foreclosure. Put because the tag will put them on courthouse.
I don't think that's true, because in our settings, we have it set to not have a duplicate lead. And there's nothing there in that setting that says, oh, but if they do come in, update them.
No, that's native Go High Level. So if I come in on the import and I import contacts, there's a section in here in the import process. It has create and update feature. So if you just say create, it's not going to do it. But if you say create and update, or you could just run an update if you just want to update your leads. But I always turn this on here, Bob. So that way, if the seller is already in my system with that email, and then down here it says, what do you want to do? What are you looking for to see if it's an update versus an insert? And I said it's email, then phone number. So it's contact ID, email, then phone number.
And that's going to override.
It overrides. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it overrides it. Yeah, because I've done it too. Like I brought in leads, and then I got there. Like when I go to Data Zap, I have like 10 leads that are missing emails. I export them, go to Data Zap, I get an export file, and then I re-import them. It doesn't create 10 new sellers. It just updates the email for those 10 sellers.
Yeah, so, but it updates the email because there's no email there.
No, but I'm keying off the phone number. So I have a phone number, right?
Right.
So it works the same way. So you're going to have that person going to the courthouse is already in your system, but they're marked as a list pendants. When I re-import them, I'm going to just re-import the same fields: first name, last name, email, phone number, whatever. And it's going to say I already have that one. Then it's going to apply the new tag. I'll work with you, Bob. That should work, no problem. And then, like I said, my courthouse automation, we should put a step at the top that says remove them from the pre-foreclosure. So that way they're not getting pre-foreclosure emails. Now they're in the courthouse automations getting those emails.
Okay.
That's an easy thing to do here. So in version 5, I'll shoot videos on all this stuff. But in this case, in this courthouse, what we should do is when they get tagged courthouse, I'm going to put a step here called workflow, and they have remove from workflow. And I'm going to remove from all workflows. Except current. So all workflows except the current one. So now I just created a step so that when somebody goes to a courthouse, I'm going to remove them from all the other automations I have, because they may be in a divorce workflow, they may be in a pre-foreclosure workflow. I'm going to get them out of those, and now they're going to start getting emails about, hey, you're about to go to the courthouse, let me save you.
Yeah. So there's nothing I can do about the past ones because I can't tell them apart now.
Yeah. Yeah, the past ones you're going to have a hard, you're going to have to reconcile.
Well, there's no way to reconcile unless I were to bring in everything again and make a huge file. So I'm not even going to worry about it, but I just got to, going forward though.
Yeah.
So there's an easy way to find it when you're importing them, is because they already have premium contact information. That's how I know it came in previously.
Yeah.
But I didn't even realize it wasn't doing what you're saying it was until I tried to find, how long it's taken to try to help this lady out. Because I don't know where the hell is somebody making $15,000 an hour, $15,000 a year with 3 kids go after the house is sold?
Yeah. Yeah.
Her attorney should be friggin' disbarred. They made a deal that the guy had to pay the house, and alimony and child support doesn't start till they sell it. Well, the guy stopped paying the house, and it's going to foreclosure, and she's not getting her child support, so she doesn't have that additional income to go to try to rent an apartment.
That's horrible.
That's why we should be involved in that process.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, one question for you, though. Where are you getting less pendants from MyPlus?
So it's an add-on, so you have to add it. If you're just getting expireds and FSBOs, you have to add it on. And then what happens is,
I think, Steve, it's like another $20 a month or whatever. So the base product,
I think it's
29 bucks. So the base version subscription to MyPlus Leads gets you expires, FSBOs, cancellations, and withdrawals.
Right. That's what I have.
You get those. If you spend $29 more, then you get the pre-foreclosures list pendants.
Okay, so I get them already from the title company for free every week. Yeah. So but I was curious I'm trying to make it easier. If it was easier to get it from there, I got it. Okay.
Yeah, and you get 100 for that $29. So if more than 100 come in a given month, I've had this for a few years now. I only had 2 or 3 times but I'm only bringing these into a smaller area. I don't bring it into as big an area as I do my expireds and FSBOs. I bring these into a tighter area. But yeah, they come in and you just click on it, and then you click on the ones you want, you augment them, and then you sync them. And then once they come in, they automatically go on the plan. So I'm gonna chat with them right now and see what's going on.
Paul gave us the chat widget.
He gave us what widget?
The market stat widget support code that's in the chat if you guys want to grab it.
Oh, the knowledge base, you mean?
Yeah. Francine, I don't know if Francine's still on, but there she is. I'll try to get.
Yeah, I'm here
this afternoon. Let's grab a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Maybe like around 4 o'clock today.
Yeah, just call me when you're ready.
Okay.
Smarty, Kyle released the new features you talked about.
Yeah, Kyle's on next week. So I invited Kyle to next Friday. He's adding actually some more features for us too. He wanted to do today, but I already had Paul. So I put Kyle next Friday, and he's got some features that are already updated for us, but based on the feedback of this group, he's adding like a few more really cool things. So he's going to show everybody what he just added next Friday. So who else? Rob, Rob, you should have that workflow. Rob Dietrich, did you have that?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I have a new vendor to bring to you and or to our team or our group here in iList. It's called Quick Buy, and they have. I know we were looking for someone for a sell and stay scenario, and they've got that. They also have a homeward product that's coming out. So I got to get those introductions made.
Yeah,
and,
hook up with me, Alan. We'll talk to them and then see if we can slot them in.
Yep, sounds good.
Hey, Rob Dietrich, I don't know if you're on, but you do have that workflow. I just went to your seller folder. It's the third one down. Everybody should have that workflow.
Smarty, one more quick question. How are we doing with the team pages? Why we submit the information? Are we
Yeah, just wanted to let everybody know. I think I only got like 5 or 6 people that filled out the form. I'll put the form back in this chat here, but I wanted to get to like a critical mass of like at least 10 or so before I send out the data. But I'll give everybody till like Monday, and then Monday I'll distribute the list to everybody.
Marty, this is which list you're talking about now?
Remember the form I built for everybody for giving your personal data for the about page?
No, I don't remember that form, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm going to put it here in the Zoom chat.
So if we got the thank you page after we filled it out, then you probably have ours then, right?
Yeah, I'll be able to tell in a second.
I dropped it in, Smarty. I had it open already.
Oh, you had it open? Okay, cool. So if you in the Zoom chat, if you click on that, guys, just to summarize what we're doing, if you want to participate, we're creating a really cool about page on your website where you're showcased at the top of the page, but down below you could have your team members. And we're going to have a carousel of team members of AI certified agents across the country, and you'll be showcased in that team carousel. So if I see Chris, and hey, I want to deal with Chris because I'm moving into her town. When I see Chris, I'm going to click the button. It's going to take me to Chris's website. Right? So this is going to be getting our team just to make your about page really robust. And what Bob did on his about, he also included all his partners, the lenders, the carpenters, all his other tradesmen. So you could have a really nice about page on your website about you and all your team members.
I just dropped it in so they can see what you're talking about.
So if you click on Bob's, you'll see what his website looks like. But above that is a form that I created inside of Go High Level where you're just going to give me all your information, including uploading your circle picture.
Give me one right here.
Right? So you need your circle picture, your website, your phone number, email, all that fun stuff. Did everybody grab that? So on Monday, I'll distribute the list to everybody. All right, guys. Good session. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys Monday.